Now, I have really awful luck with the police. And I'm not that bad of a driver. I've sped once or twice and paid the price for it, but 2 years back on Thanksgiving might have been one of the strangest encounters with the police that I've ever had. My friends and I were heading down the morning of Thanksgiving back to Vegas so we could see our families. Now, this might be sort of an awful time to do it, but we had classes the night before. So we were sort of just in a rush to get back home and not have to be on this 7-hour road. And at the time, we were passing through a small town doing, normal speed limits until about edge of town I started going a little bit faster than I maybe should have. And lo and behold, a police car pulls right around and stops me, right as I get out. What proceeded then was, for the next 15 minutes we were sitting there waiting for the police officer to get out of the car and just hand me my ticket. Routine stuff. But we waited there, and wouldn't you know it, 2 other police cars pulled up right behind us. The officers got out of the car and started talking, and rather than coming up to the window to just give me my ticket and send me on my way, one of the officers came up to my car and asked, "Do you have any weapons?" I was thoroughly confused at this point. So I answered truthfully, no, we didn't have anything in the car. And he asked then for me to step out. I thought then, have I been pulled over on drunk driving charges for some reason? But after standing there outside of the car, the officers began patting me down and asking where I got my car from. This was a little bit odd because this is a car that's been in the family for a while. I was confused at that point. I was asking, is there something wrong? And he explained to me that my car was stolen. The car I've been driving for maybe 4 years now. My car had been stolen from somewhere in northern Nevada. After a while of deliberating on this and waiting for some clue what was going on, one of the police officers came up and said, "Turns out we put in the license plate wrong." For maybe half an hour we were sitting there, a police officer watching my friends. After a while though, we all figured things out and managed to get back underway. The rest of the trip went perfectly smoothly. Nothing really happened on the way back to Vegas. It's a very boring trip, as anybody who's taken the road will tell you. My friends had been dropped off at their houses, and I'd had a decent Thanksgiving dinner. That very same night, I left home to go visit a friend. And wouldn't you know it, I encounter a second police officer. He pulled right behind me and began slowing down, then switched lanes, and I thought, does he want to pass? So I slowed down, and so he slowed down more. And we kept doing this until both of us were nearly stopped in the middle of the road. And finally, he turned on the lights and the siren, intending for me to pull over. And he came right up to my car, and he asked if I knew what was wrong. And naturally, I'm lost at this point. I have no idea what's going to happen. So I try to stay calm, I try to go over in my head what could possibly be going on, and after a while he just lets me off the hook and says that one of my taillights is broken. Just like that, in the space of only a single car trip, I was pulled over not 1 but 2 times. Both of them leaving without a ticket or any kind of charge, of course, but leaving with some story that attests to maybe some kind of good or bad luck. And I'm not really sure which to this day.